Mexican officials in Tijuana are scrambling to accommodate hundreds of Central Americans who arrived at the U.S. Mexico border. More expected today. The group split off from a caravan of about 5,000 that's been moving through Mexico. Many are escaping violence at home and plan to request asylum here in the U.S. John Blackstone is along the border in Tijuana, Mexico. John, good morning.
Good morning. The San Isidro crossing here is the busiest border crossing in the Western Hemisphere, with about 110,000 people crossing into the U.S. daily. Yesterday, U.S. Customs and Border Patrol closed 4 lanes here to harden the border in preparation for the migrants who have already begun arriving. Where the U.S.-Mexico border meets the Pacific, crews on the U.S. side Wednesday secured barbed wire atop a fortified wall that's been in place for decades. Hours earlier, several people scaled the fence as Border Patrol agents watched from the other side. A woman carrying a baby managed to make it through the fence, but was quickly caught. The first wave of about 800 U.S. asylum seekers arrived in Tijuana by bus this week, with many setting up camp along the wall and in shelters that are already overflowing. 34-year-old Miriam Gomez traveled from Honduras with 3 of her 4 children. Why will you say you should have asylum? Because I'm a single mother and I want to give my children a better life, she says. President Trump says these caravan, they're like invaders. No, Hondurans are hard workers. As many as 10,000 asylum seekers are estimated to be moving in 3 caravans through Mexico, traveling by foot and on buses. Roberta Hernandez arrived in Mexico City from Honduras on Wednesday. They can put 1 million soldiers on the border, he says. We are going to make the attempt. On Wednesday, Defense Secretary James Mattis and Homeland Security Secretary Kirstjen Nielsen visited some of the nearly 6,000 U.S. troops deployed to help secure the border.
I do not anticipate military personnel coming into direct contact with migrants.
No one seems to know who's paying for the buses that brought the migrants to Tijuana, but one migrant we spoke to said he thought it was local authorities in other Mexican states who were anxious to move the caravan on. Now, because of the backlog here, it's likely to be a month or longer before U.S. officials can even start processing asylum requests from the latest arrivals. Bianna?
That is an important point to make. John, thank you for your reporting.